everything, she said. Count it out and you can make order out of chaos. If you keep counting, your life will be a dance. Mess up and step a little, you can get the order back, just as long as you never miss a beat. Remember that. And so when I saw chaos around me, I started to count. My mother knew that if her timing had been more accurate, I may never have been conceived. We were backstage at the South London Palais, she said, and I thought that we wouldn't have time to go all the way. But the team from Hong Kong had a mishap. The call was 10 minutes late, and by then, you were on the way. I kept dancing when I was pregnant, she used to tell me, right up to the end, and then 6 weeks after. I was better on the slow ones, but I never sat out a quick step, even though they asked me to. Hearing this story as a little boy, I used to think that they asked her to sit it out of concern for her and even for me, jiggling around in her belly like a kitten in a washing machine. I love the paso doble, she said. My favourite. She would fling anything around her shoulders at this point when she said it. A cloth, a coat, once a sheet of newspaper. This was a part that I loved. Ole, she shouted, and I had to circle her, slowly at first, and then more quickly as she turned on her knees, following my movements and with her eyes on mine all the way. I got the slow part, the bullfighter, and as long as I counted and stamped my feet, we were dancing, all else forgotten. This is how I know there's a downside to timing. Even at school, I counted my steps, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, making sure that I paid particularly close attention to the details whenever I could feel chaos looming. I knew how many steps there were from the playing field to the hut, and I knew how long it would take to get changed and get home. I thought I'd probably be one of these people who was happy when they got old. You boy, is football a joke? The teacher shouted. I'd taken my eye off the ball, and I counted to 2036, and home time was not far away. No, sir, I said. No, sir? He bellowed as if it was the most ridiculous thing he'd ever heard. No, sir? It's not a joke then? No, sir, I said again. I didn't know where this was going, but it was not going well. And I was worried about losing my place in the numbers that determined my life. Then why the hell are you smiling? There are 306 steps to the changing room, I said. It was the first thing that came to my head, and the response was not good. The rest of my school career was spoiled by whispered counting and sniggering from all sides. This is how I know that timing is a random bastard. Take falling in love and choosing a life partner. Picture that as a shooting gallery. At the beginning, millions of faces are lined up, but some of them fall down straight away. They are the people you would have met if you had been born in Finland or Rwanda, or too early or too late. Everywhere you go after that, some faces pop up and some fall down, and every time you make a choice, like studying chemistry, more faces fall flat. They are the people you might have met if you'd learned Spanish or left school to live in Nepal. The rows shuffle every time you walk down the street or eat a bagel or miss your train, until finally you're at a party and you've drunk too much to drive home, and there she is. The only face that came up in the shooting gallery shuffle for that time and that place, and you think, maybe I'll marry her. And in another gallery, millions of faces shuffle forward and back, the millions of children you could have had. It's all part of the dance, and all you can do is keep on counting and pray to whoever keeps the score that you don't trip up. If you trip, my mother once said, just adjust the count until you're where you should be again, and then count on from where you are. How the hell do you know where you should be, I want to ask her now, and who the hell is keeping the score? This is how I know that time is running out. We met under the clock at Waterloo Station. She asked if I could dance, and I told her, I can dance to your tune if you'll let me. A funny man, she said. I like a funny man. Let me tell you this then, funny man. I'm a whore. Only after 5 minutes did I understand that that was a joke. Only after 5 minutes did she explain that the study of timekeeping is called horology, and that was her hobby. I was hooked. That's my kind of joke, I said, and I stopped thinking about all the people that I wasn't meeting and all the streets I wasn't going to walk down. There was order again. I forgot the woman that I'd married when I couldn't count my steps correctly, and the children we hadn't had because my sperm had timed out on their egg hunt. Instead, I watched that one face as she bent over her beloved clocks, sorting through parts so tiny and intricate it seemed like a terrible shame to hide them away again when the clock was mended. She laughed when I told her that, and she made me a clock with every little spring on show. I keep it by the bed, and I watch it when she's sleeping. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The tick keeps coming while I try not to think about how much time and how much longer we could have had. It's not the amount of time that we have that's important, she said. It's what we do with it. And so we've seen the Northern Lights together, and we've travelled on trains across time zones and fields of snow. We've looked down on Hong Kong from the peak, and we've eaten on the beach while water lapped at our feet. I've been too happy to keep time, and still I don't think that I ever missed a step. But I know now is this: time keeps itself, even when you stop counting. She's not well, you see. Not long now, darling, she says, as if she's keeping me from some important engagement. The longer the better, I start to say, but she looks at me in that way that I know to mean, come on now, there's no need to say anything. Do that bullfighting dance, she says. My timing's not good today, I tell her, and she laughs, though it isn't funny. Because she laughs, and because I'm grateful for her to laugh for laughing, I put the red towel from the bathroom round my shoulders, and I hum along to Michael Jackson's Thriller while I step out to the count, and she moves a little from side to side, and I feel the chaos, and I think, this is how I know that timing cannot always keep the chaos away.